There are moments in life that take your breath away. And typically we think about the birth of our first child, our wedding day, all of the positive, beautiful experiences. But I've experienced the other side of that spectrum, where my husband took his last breath just a little over 4 years ago. We never thought that he would be diagnosed with stage 4 cancer in his 40s. Who would ever imagine something like that happening? And so it was a journey that neither of us thought we would ever experience. Of course, we experienced fear, pain, anxiety, terror, but in that we also felt a myriad of beautiful emotions. And what it did is it cracked us wide open so that we could truly examine our hearts and become who we really need to be. I felt like I was going on autopilot. I was at the height of my career, shooting weddings, getting published in magazines. Life was great. Nate was doing well with his work. And then suddenly everything shifted. And not only did it shift in our external world, but mostly within. That's the thing. When we go through trauma, we literally hold our breath. Like I was saying, things take your breath away. We hold our trauma, we hold our breath, and it gets stored within us. And so the whole purpose and point behind breath work is to expand and to help us to actually move through those negative emotions that we experience. So there's actually a lot of science behind breath work. And while I was experiencing this on my meditation pillow, it was a very spiritual practice. I didn't know the science. I didn't understand why it was working, but it was working. It would calm me down. While everything else outside of me was in turmoil, I would feel super calm inside. And I didn't really know why until I became a breathwork coach myself. I dug into the science and understanding the nervous system and how this all works and how you can tap into your intuition. When Nate took his last breath, it was honestly one of the most sacred, beautiful experiences of my life. And it helped me realize how powerful and sacred our breath is and how much we can utilize it to not only sustain life, but to also create. We have the power to be able to create, to expand, and to become more through our breath. So him taking his last breath was a transformation for me. A part of me died with him, and then a part of me was resurrected through this process. For me to really get through this trial in my life, I literally had to go through it. I couldn't ignore it. I couldn't push it aside. There were days where I would throw a tantrum to God and ask him why. I allowed myself to scream and cry, to really feel into it. I took myself to therapy because I thought, oh, this is what you're supposed to do. And I found that it was beneficial only to a certain point. And then after that, I realized that I was receiving more when I would go home and sit on my meditation pillow and breathe and meditate and get really still. And I was finding my own inner therapist, my own inner coach. That's where the magic happened, because I was able to find that I don't need anything outside myself in order to heal. So I actually had a really good friend reach out to me who I hadn't seen in years, and she had found out that my husband was sick with cancer. She offered her services to teach me a little bit about breath work. And my first thought was, oh my goodness, I don't know if I can meditate. I don't know if I can quiet my mind, like all of the typical things that we think. And it was a struggle for me to meditate. So when she introduced me to breath work, I was surprised at how quickly I was able to drop into that meditative state. It's as if my body took over and it was able to help me to get to that place quicker than just trying to think myself into meditation. I am transformed by my traumatic experience and the things that I've learned from it. I am so, so grateful for. But if you haven't experienced something big in your life, we all have experiences. At some point, you will experience something in your life that you're going to need to learn how to dig deep into yourself to find answers, to tap into your intuition, and to get closer to whatever you call source, God, angels, And breath work is like a portal for that. So whether you just need daily stress management or you are working on a transition in your life, big T or little t trauma, breathwork really is a great way to empower you so that you have the tools whenever you need them. You're not relying on anyone outside yourself after that. You know, everything becomes an analogy with photography and lighting and perspective and choosing the lens that you see things. And I know that like through this experience, it completely shifted the way that I looked at things and still look at things. And so it's helped me to create a completely new lens on my life. And, you know, you could choose to see things one direction. I mean, I could choose to see this as a very negative in my life, but because of breathwork, because of the things, it's opened my perspective. It's brought it to a higher perspective, a completely different lens to help me see things in a completely new way. And so really, I want to help you to find your own inner coach. As you walk through the doors of the loft, you come to this class probably not knowing what to expect. And when you get on your mat and I instruct you on this amazing journey, then suddenly it's opened up to you and it's something that you feel in your body. We're operating from our minds so much, thinking like, okay, this is how I'm going to think away my problems. This is how I'm going to do life. This is how I'm going to make decisions. And it's hard to explain how you feel it in your body, but when you start to breathe and when you come to a class and you come in and you embody it, then suddenly life shifts completely. And so I want to help you discover what you have within you, because it is within you. Then you walk out the door and you're empowered to be able to do what you need to do in life. My name is Jessica White, and I would love to help you create a new lens on life.